Good morning, afternoon, evening, YouTube. I think today might be the day that I actually start filming a YouTube video and see it through. Had a bit of a hiatus, no other reason than I just haven't really had time or felt like filming. And today I thought I would. Today I thought I would actually do that video, like a full day of eating. Food is pretty high at the moment. We're on a training day. 3,200 calories are going to go in today, or they have already started going in. It's 11:30. And yeah, 2,800 on a rest day. I'll take you through today's training day. It's legs. We are post deload at the moment, so I'm probably going to try go a little bit full send today. I've got a goal of getting 3 plates aside on the Cybex hack by the end of this training block, which is the end of the month, so we will see. And yeah, I'll take you through a full day of eating. I may even do a little sit down talk. I've been asked a few questions on Instagram a while ago on, like, you know, natural versus assisted prep. I've been meaning to do a video on it for ages. I've been putting it off for ages. There is a podcast coming out this week where I talked about it quite a bit. That's coming out on Wednesday on the Lift Your Life podcast, so I will link that below as well, because that will be out on Wednesday and more than likely similar time to this video coming out. So yeah, you can check that out, and I go into loads of detail. I talk about my journey into bodybuilding, I talk about my decision to go assisted, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, like pros and cons of using assistance, all that stuff. So yeah, let's get into this video first though. I haven't started the full day properly, so I apologise because I've already had 2 meals. I've had 100 grams of good old oats, and then that was with like whey, 20 grams of peanut butter, which I have every morning. On a training day, my meal one is 100 grams of oats, 20 grams of peanut butter, 36 grams of whey, and then it's like 15 grams worth of carbs from fruit, so I just add whatever fruit I've got. I had a variety of berries this morning, and that's my meal one. Meal two, well, depends on what time I'm training. I'm training later afternoon today because I've got a driving lesson at 1, and like I said, it's like, well, getting on for 12 o'clock now. So I'm just doing finish check-ins. I'm just doing bits of admin now and sorting my week out because it's Monday morning. But I just had like a meal which was like 75 grams raw weight jasmine rice, and it was with 5 chicken Italia hex sausages, which is like 25 grams worth of protein, which is kind of my meals. I have not really gone into enough detail in the past about how I now track macros. With Christian, my new account was newish still. He's like, I've had 8 check-ins with him. Been with him for 2 months, basically. We get like net macros set, and then I don't count trace macros, which I will explain again in a little bit more detail later on. Right, so to sort of continue this video before we go any deeper, personally, when I'm watching someone's full days of eating, I like to know exactly what their macros are and all that jazz. So I'm going to talk you through my full day of eating because, as per most of my days, it's going to end up being messy and confusing. Like the fact that I've already had 2 meals. So I'm going to explain to you what I'm actually on, and then you can kind of have a little bit of context before we get into it. So I talked about net macros, so I've got net carbs, net protein, net fats, and so like on a net basis, my training day is currently 135 protein, 400 carbs, and 40 fats. What it actually usually ends up being, this is a typical training day like from Saturday, is so around, I don't know if you can see that, depends what device you're watching it on, but it ends up being about 430 carbs, 440, about 70, late 70s with the fats, like 75 towards 80, and 170 protein. So we say 135 as a net protein, for example, but then I'll have stuff like bagels, and with the net macros, like I'm going to take 40 grams of net carbs from like a Warburton's bagel, and then the trace protein that comes with that is not going to be included. So like across my plan for the day, for example, training day today, meal one, we've got on the meal detail, we've got 25 grams from lean, from like a lean whole food choice or whey. So for me, for that protein, 25 grams in that meal, I'm having whey, and that equates to 36 grams of whey for me, which is 25 grams of protein that I need. So that's why I'm having 36 grams specifically. And then I get 60 grams of carbs from starch in that meal. So for me, that's 100 grams of oats. And then I get 15 grams from fruit. So that the net carbs for that meal is 75 carbs. And I'll take 60 from the oats and then 15 from fruit, whichever fruit I choose. But yeah, And then it's like 100 grams added from 85% dark chocolate, but I'm naughty and I have peanut butter instead. But you get my point. So like there might be a little bit of protein in the peanut butter. That doesn't get included in that 25 grams of protein. So then therefore I'll end the day on like 170 protein, because protein's going to rack up throughout just like other trace sources throughout the day. But I'm going to get my net protein from like clean whole food choices all whey. So for my second meal I had 5 hex sausages, which equated to 25 grams of protein. And then I'm not counting the small amount of fat that comes from that, which is why I've ended the day on like 78 grams of fat as opposed to 40. But yeah, it sounds a bit odd, but when you get used to it, you know, it's absolutely fine. And it works out about 3,200 calories. So that's how I've started tracking my macros for the last couple of months. I'm really used to it now. It encourages me to pick clean food sources, because obviously if I pick some silly source of like carbs, for example, that also has loads of fats in it, then my fats are going to rack up really high. Whereas I'm just trying to make sure that they consistently rack up to the same amount, like sort of like I said, the 75 to 80 gram mark by the end of the day, which, you know, the fats come from obviously, you know, some from the oats, some from like a Rice Krispie square bar maybe, some from my protein sources. But if I was having like really fatty protein sources, then it would rack up a lot more. So I tend to eat similar things every day. It's just obviously the order I eat them in is a little bit different depending on what time of day I'm training. So sometimes I'll have more food going in. And as well, my food has changed quite a lot recently based on my actual appetite since the deload, since I ran like a week of rest day macros and then came back to training day. I've found that my appetite's finally settled like post-show, and I'm able to start incorporating like Weetabix and things around my workout, things that I actually enjoy eating, rather than like at one point I was having like 3 potato meals post-show just to kind of try and satiate myself. Obviously carb-wise, potatoes are a lot more satiating than you know, cereals and things like that. So hopefully that explains to you how I'm now hitting my macros. So yeah, like I said, the actual sort of daily amounts on a training day end up being about 440 carbs, 75 fats, 170 protein, give or take a few either way. But like I said, because I choose similar sources every day and I'm not a dick with my choices in terms of like keeping it clean, then yeah, it ends up being similar macros every day. It doesn't end up skewing and having like massively more fats one day or whatever. So there we go. Okie dokie, taking you straight to my leg day, my Monday leg day, which involves the Cybex hack. So first exercise is lying hamstring curls, 3 sets, and then we move on to the Cybex hack. Now, this is actually the back off set. I did film the top set, but I filmed it on my phone because, yeah, I wanted to show off on Instagram that I did 2.75 plates per side for 10 reps, which I was absolutely buzzing with. Anyone that doesn't know what PPS means when they see it on my Instagram, and maybe lots of other bodybuilders, it means plates per side, plates being 20 kilograms. So that you can see I've got 2 PPS on right now in this set. And then at that set here, this back off set is 2.5 PPS. So it's 0.5 is obviously half of the 20, so it's 10. Do not ask me why we speak in this weird language. Do not ask me why we put 20 plates on and not 25 plates on. It's just the way it is. It's just the way we speak to each other. It's just the way that we boast about our sets. So there we go. 2.5 plates per side for my back off set. Yeah, I was really happy with this as well. I can't actually remember what I got on this set from memory, but obviously it's logged on my spreadsheet. And we're adding the purple band there as well, just to kind of take some pressure off my knees, because as anyone might know, the Cybex hack is notorious for being, well, as you can see, it's very vertical. It's very vertical compared to some other hack squats. And it is like very painful on your knees, to be quite honest with you. It's a savage machine. It's heavy. It's brutal. It's painful. So yeah, the band is added. Exercise numero 3. So why did I just make Spanish and French? Never mind. Third exercise, we have the horizontal leg press. House of Gains have got a new, this like sort of Cybex squat press, I think they call it. But yeah, it's actually a really nice leg press. I'm already not too far off the stack, to be honest, but hey ho, there's plenty of gym pins going around House of Gains, so they don't mind you adding weights to their machines. So at some point I will likely do that. But for now, this is feeling good. Do not ask me why my bum is like not on the seat. I don't know, but it felt comfortable at the time anyway. My main focus is just like having my back really flat on the pad. So I don't get any pain, and like, yeah, just trying to make sure that the seat is close to, obviously it's hard to get into initially at the start of the movement, but at the same time, like, the closer you are, the more knee flexion you're going to get in this movement, and that is obviously what I was prioritizing. So yeah, I also have 3 working sets on this, so I've done 3 working sets on the Cybex hack, and then I go and do 3 working sets on the leg press. So yeah, I am pretty gassed after these 2 exercises, never mind the fact that I've done leg curls as well beforehand. And then just to make this session even more savage, it's barbell RDLs. So actually we did swap the order of these because I was doing RDLs beforehand, my back was pretty fucked. And by the time I'd done RDLs, then Cybex hack, and then leg press towards the end, I was finding that my spine was just like really compressing in a really painful way and not recovering the next days and stuff. So this is actually new, this order, starting with the Cybex hack, then the leg press, and then afterwards I've got barbell RDLs. So obviously, here I'm doing 100 kilos. So I think I got 10 reps, but yeah, like I'd got that before. So it's not like a PB as such, but at the same time, like obviously it's a reset in the sense of now it's, after the Cybex hack and the leg press. So it's not like being the first exercise anymore. So the fact that I'm getting the same amount of reps for the same weight is decent. But yeah, I'm just going to trial this and see how I recover from this instead. Rather than kind of having a compressed, horrible feeling spine by the end of the session. But yeah, pretty pleased with this set, to be fair, considering how hot it was as well, which you can see from my sweat on my shoulders. Vile. Okay, then the final movement of the session, final leg movement of the session, always end my sessions with delts, training delts 5 days a week at the moment. So they're calling them leg days, but they're always ending with delts. Final leg movement, or lower movement of the session, I should say, is just the hyperextensions. No specification on how I load the weights, but I've personally found that loading with dumbbells is the best way. Obviously, you can use your wrist straps so you can put them to make sure that you don't drop the weight due to grip. It's a lot easier to maneuver than like a massive barbell, for example. So here at the dumbbells I've got are like 22.5 kgs, so therefore I'm moving 45 kilos worth of load, but like in the kind of easiest possible way in terms of like logistics. Hurts like hell at this point in the session. Like I already told you about my spine, so I'm generally feeling a little bit sore and compressed. You are working your lower, your erectors and stuff at the end of the day when you are training, with doing RDLs. So they're pretty sore by this point. But yeah, you really got to just focus, as you can see from my form there, like the lower back bend on your glutes, lifting the weight with your glutes, not with your lower back, which a lot of people get wrong. And the finale movement for this session is dumbbell lateral raises. I believe I do these twice a week. There's another session where I'll do cable laterals, for example, but pretty much, like I said, every single session ends with delts in some way or another, particularly laterals, because we're just looking to get the capped delt look. And, training them 5 days a week when it's lateral, the lateral delt is such a small area of muscle and it's so easy to recover. So I'm not finding any issues whatsoever. Like, I don't know about you, but I won't get shoulder DOMs from that. Maybe from pressing, but certainly not from laterals. I think as well a lot can be said for the fact that I am training delts 5 days a week now. I'm having people notice my delts. I'm noticing my delts, they are growing a lot more because I'm doing nearly 30 working sets a week, which is a damn sight more than I was doing in my last off season. So safe to say they're going to grow a lot and they're going to look a lot different next time I compete, which is obviously really exciting. So yeah, if you've got a weak body part, you need to prioritise it in some way or another. You need to be making sure you're attributing a lot more volume towards that muscle group across the week, which is what I'm doing with delts at the moment. And yeah, it's going to pay dividends. And obviously, if it is delts that you're struggling with, laterals don't add much time to your sessions at the end. And like I said, recovery-wise, doesn't add much either. So easy to do, easy to recover from. Go for it. That's the session wrap-up, though. Back to the full day of eating now. Right, lads. This full day of eating is going as well as they always do. Now it's getting on for 7 o'clock. I'm having a little quota of fruit for the day because, you might have gauged from earlier on that my, meals generally have a fruit quota. Every single meal is either 10 or 15 grams. On a training day, it's 15 with the first 4 meals and 10 with the last meal of the day. 5 meals. So yeah, pretty much got my legs done. Before that, I had Weetabix. I had 4 of those with a banana. So that was a prep refeed, staple. And now it's become something that I can just have every day. In fact, I can have Weetabix because I've got over 300 grams of carbs on a rest day as well. So plenty of room. So yeah, I had Weetabix and banana after my driving lesson and before I trained. I also had a square bar, which was before I had my driving lesson. So yeah, driving lesson and then the Weetabix and banana. Went off and trained, and when I came back, I had a peanut butter bagel. So cinnamon bagels at the moment I'm having with peanut butter, 20 grams, so nice. 20 grams of peanut butter is like 10 grams of fat, by the way, which is like how my 40 grams of fat is split throughout the day. So I have 20 grams in my meal one with my oats, I have 20 grams on a bagel, and then like tonight I've got 52 grams of avocado, which is 10 grams of fat, with my meal 4. And then the other 10 grams comes from meal 5, which is another oat bowl, which I have 5 grams coming from dark chocolate and 5 grams coming from Nutella. I've been running that for weeks now, so yeah. But all of this, because I track macros, is subject to change, but that's just what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, gonna have this, got a little mug of tea as well, and yeah, just gonna do a little bit more work. I've got literally one check-in to do because I have an American client who checks in on a Monday, and obviously, you know, the time difference, she's like 5 hours behind, so she's checked in while I was at the gym, and I need to get back to her now. Right, okay, it's now like 8 o'clock in the evening, and it's getting dark, which is depressing. And I forgot to show you my meal. Well, it's here, but it looks absolutely vile because I just pile food on top. I add sauces. It's embarrassing. Like, usually I'll take pictures for Instagram and then I'll add loads of sauces. And as you can see, I have no standards when it comes to meals. So I've just dumped all the veg on top. It's actually turkey rashers. There's 4 of them, which is 25 grams of protein. There's 220 grams of potatoes. And then I get the rest of my 60 grams of carbs for this meal. So there's potatoes, and then there's also, I had a square bar. That square bar earlier is actually accounting into this meal, which sounds weird, but yeah, just I want a squares bar, so there we go. And that makes up 60 grams of carbs from the squares and the potatoes. And then I've just got loads of veg to go with it, as I'm supposed to per every meal. And then under all that pile of rubbish, what looks like rubbish, there's 52 grams of avocado again. So yes, apologies for the absolute mess of a meal. Now you all know my secret. I eat absolute, like, what looks like garbage, but it's very macro friendly. Lol, it's dark now. I feel like this is officially the worst full day of eating ever. I've got my evening oats, which is 68 grams, because that equates to 68 grams of oats equates to 40 grams of carbs. So basically I have 3 meals of 60 grams of carbs, with obviously the added fruit, making it like 75 grams or whatever, but like 60 grams from starch goes from 3 meals. This meal is 40 grams from starch, and then my post-workout meal is 110 grams from starch, and all of that equates to, with the fruit added on top, 400 grams of net carbs, which, like I said earlier, equates to about 440 from trace sources and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the oats going in. I've got 10 grams of fruit carbs going in, so that's Morello cherries, game changer if you haven't tried them before, and raspberries. And then I've got Biscoff tonight, which is rare. I've been having Nutella for so long, just didn't fancy it tonight. I've got the CMP, it's like cinnamon glazed donut or whatever, whey, which absolutely bangs. And then, yeah, Biscoff for a change, because to be honest, cinnamon donut sort of whey doesn't really go with Nutella, so yeah. Sorry it's dark and you can't really see me, but I'm not switching the light up. I'm just chilling with my oats, watching a bit of YouTube. It's 9:15, which is a little bit late, to be honest. I'm going to have a piece of dark chocolate after this as well. Probably forgot to mention that I also had a banana earlier, which is 27 grams of carbs. So for 2 of my 15 grams of carbs from fruit meals, I put that into a banana, because I do struggle to get all this fruit in, I'm not going to lie. But if I have 27 grams from a banana, then that does me for almost two of the 15 gram portions of fruit from 2 of the meals. So yeah, I had a banana earlier as well. Oh no, I did mention that because it was in the Weetabix. I'm losing it. But some days I don't have the Weetabix, or I just have the banana separately and have different fruit in the Weetabix. Cool story, bro. See you in the morning. I just edited that. Pretty sure that was the worst full day of eating you've ever seen. However, probably is a good representation of why I've not really been filming or recording anything for YouTube. Do not have time. And I tried to have time and I didn't have time. Yeah, September's a busy one. Like, you get less busy in the summer as a coach, generally speaking. And then in September, everyone wants to sign up. You've got, like, I've had, for example, just like 2 clients that were like wanted a hiatus over the summer coming back as well. Like, people start to come back if they've had a hiatus over summer because maybe just like too many holidays and they didn't want the coaching stress or whatever it is. So yeah, it's a busy time. I've obviously got clients competing and stuff at the moment. So yeah, that's sort of like taking my time and priorities. So yes, it is what it is. As I said earlier, though, the podcast did go out. It's Wednesday right now as I'm filming this, aiming to get the video out in the morning. So yeah, the podcast that I mentioned is out. It literally talks all about my, like, how I got into coaching, how I got into bodybuilding, how I got down the assisted route. So yeah, actually that talks a lot about, you know, the sort of like the pros and cons of being assisted on a prep and stuff. So I would honestly go and give that podcast a listen. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music. I'll link it below. I'll link the Spotify at least, and if you don't have Spotify, you can look for it on Apple Music. It's like Lift Your Life podcast. It's a good, pretty good one, to be fair, if you are interested in that sort of thing. So I won't talk about it in this video because you can listen to the podcast, and this video is quite long and a little bit weird as well. So I will leave this video here. I think hopefully I've explained the net macro approach now and you understand what I mean, but yeah, it makes you really think about quantities of different foods and all that kind of stuff. It makes you eat clean, and yeah, it's all good. So that is what I'm doing at the moment. Weight, like, you know, my weight is trending up again just because we did up food last week, but that is absolutely fine. It was stable for a while, so I'm happy with it. And yeah, I'm going to be filming actually as well, like a sort of Zoom recording that I'll upload onto here. I've got a natural female bodybuilder, like she does the bodybuilding category within the natural realm, like the natural federations. She's done quite well in the past. I've done a photo shoot with her. She's a photographer. We are going to be filming together on Friday, like a kind of podcast style thing. I don't obviously have my own podcast, but it's sort of going to be that type of thing. And we will go and we will compare a natural and assisted prep, obviously from her perspective and stuff as well. And I'll probably ask her stuff about like her choice to stay natural and all that kind of stuff. I think that'll be interesting. So that video will go up. I've got 2 clients competing in Leicester on Sunday. So I will be doing like a vlog for them and filming their show day and stuff. So that will also be going up, another client show day. We all love a show day. One of them's figure, one of them's masters bikini, so we've got some variety there. So yeah, there's more YouTube to come. And then even next Saturday, I've got a client day, like a meetup with a few of my clients, about 10 of us maybe. And yeah, I'm going to get a videographer, and that's going to be a sick YouTube video as well. So there is more to come. I just don't have a lot of time at the moment to be filming and to be like you know, editing it and stuff myself, because at the end of the day, you know, my business comes first, my clients come first, and when I'm busy and I've got lots of inquiries and I'm setting up lots of new clients, like, that's going to take up all my time. So yeah, but hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hopefully you've enjoyed the leg day, now that I'm back from my deload last week, which was awful, having to take that time away and then having to ease myself back in, which I struggled with. But back full send now. The 3 plates per Cybex hack is going to happen next week. Mark these words. It's happening. So yeah, stay tuned for my Instagram. I'll more than likely do an actual full-on post about that, because I'll be so proud. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Please like this video if you did enjoy it. Like, I swear I've gone to like the utmost effort to, like, I'm literally rushing today to try and like get it all filmed and squeezed into my day. And I've got loads to do now and it's 6:30, so woo. So yes, please do like it. I would appreciate that so much. Subscribe if you are new. If you've got any questions, hit me up below, or just DM me on Instagram as well. And yes, I will speak to you in the next one. It'll be the natural bodybuilder on. It'll be the client show day, and then it'll be the client team meet up next week. Boom. Ciao for now.